Hey folks, guess what? I got a tripod. A lot of people have suggested that, and I finally up and did it. So, see how that goes for a while. What I'm doing is I did this HID headlight set that I have a video on, and they go in awesome now. It didn't used to be that way. It used to be I used to fight and fight and fight, trying to get the sucker to sit in there, and it would always aim too low. Had all these problems. And some of which were wiring, some of which were the design of the truck versus the design of the headlight, and another part was just the absolute garbage material that this was made out of. It had just this little teeny foot for the bolt that you see down here. In fact, there's a piece of the bolt that's down in there now. But basically, let me bring it around here so that you can see. What the hang-up was is the wires for the back of the projector headlight case that you see here. When you would look at the back side of it, where it protrudes, there wasn't room for it here, and it was chewing on the wires. I had it intermittently shorting. It was just a bad situation. So what I did is I cut out a piece of metal. You can't really tell now, but what I did is I took the cut-off tool and I cut kind of a triangle piece out of here. You can see how this is shaped out that way. This is the piece that I cut from it, and that cutting it out enabled me to be able to make room so that it fit in properly, so that it would aim properly, and that everything would just work nice. The other thing that I did is I took, boy, having to wrestle around the tripod's no fun either. I took some of this evaporative tubing that you use for a swamp cooler, and I slid it along the back end of it, and after slitting it I fit it in there. I filed it with a little hasp file to get it so it was smoother. It was still just crappy, and I knew that was going to wind up fraying some wires. So I laid in that tubing to make it so that it would just be better. The next thing that I'm doing is I'm going to go and take that bracket that I have that I've already fabricated, and I'm going to screw it into this. I cut off the little plastic nonsense that was there from casting. It was so thin and so wobbly, it wasn't the right material for a bracket. Makes a good headlight case, but not a very good bracket case. So I'm going to do that, and that'll space this out so that it will be secured at the bottom as well. And then you see how nice that's going to fit now. Before, the best I could get was like that, you know, securing it, and then the bracket broke and it would wobble. So now that should be really nice. The other thing that I've done while I was in here is I really didn't care for, well, I gotta learn how to use this. That locks up like that. Okay. Then I gotta, ooh, this is nice. I'm digging this tripod. But let's see if we can even zoom. Bear with me. Nope, we're all zoomed in. So anyway, the other thing I did is I took a bunch of Lume and I put Lume all over all the wiring things that go to this, and also made it so that you can disconnect them. I had them hardwired before, and it looked like a bird nest of wire just back there. It looked horrible. I was just really embarrassed. I know that nobody could see it, but I didn't want to do a video on how to do any of this until that was right. So with the Lume in place, some of the Lume I pulled from old spark plug wires, and some of it I bought and used new. Anyway, it should be a whole lot better. No more shorting. I should be able to aim these things properly and just have it be a real good clean installation. That's what we like. So here's the bracket that I've made to substitute for the improperly placed and poorly manufactured bracket that is, modular with the headlight. And I've got it painted black. Did not have the patience to wait for the paint to dry. I bolted this bracket to the point on the vehicle where it needed to be, and then once it was in place, I used a tool to score the headlight casing, the soft plastic of that, so that I know where to use the self-tapping screws to screw it in. I scored it with a dental tool, of all things. I wish I knew where I put it, and I'd show it to you. It's this one here. I used the 90-degree portion of it to be able to scrape while it was in there to be able to get that marking so that I could place my bracket effectively.